want to bring in our CBS News political correspondent, Ed Keefe, who is there and has been there for both press conferences. House Minority Speaker there, Kevin McCarthy, and also the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi. What's your takeaway first from McCarthy's press conference? Also, the fact that he's calling on Adam Schiff to step down, to resign from his position as chairman of the House Intelligence Committee.
Yeah, DeMarco, this has quickly become sort of the issue of the week for Republicans, targeting Democratic critics of the president and those that were, in their words, cheerleaders for a result of the Mueller report that hasn't materialized. Schiff's been a target of Republicans for quite some time, and now more so since Sunday's summary released by the Attorney General, which pours a lot of cold water on what Schiff and other Democrats have been saying for the last 2 years, and that is that there are examples of obstruction of justice and potential collusion with Russian authorities ahead of the 2016 campaign. Of course, the summary from the Attorney General says otherwise. They're calling on him to step down as chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. There was a pretty spirited exchange this morning between the 9 Republicans on the Intelligence Committee and Chairman Schiff during a previously scheduled hearing where he refused to do so and says that he'll continue in the position. And notably, Nancy Pelosi, who usually in these weekly settings tries to avoid the controversy of the moment in her remarks, went out of her way to preemptively defend Schiff, a close ally of hers, close associate that she's worked with not only in California politics but on intelligence matters, because they're both members of the Gang of Eight, and in California Democratic politics, saying that he's not going anywhere and that Republicans are at fault for continuing to go after him for no good reason. The president, of course, has been doing this as well, tweeting about it, talking to Sean Hannity on Fox News about it last night, saying that Schiff should resign. But ultimately, the president has no say in this because Schiff's a member of the other party and Congress is a separate branch. So we'll see where this goes, but for now, at least, everyone holding to their corners, insisting Republicans are that Schiff should go, and Democrats saying he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and Schiff is, again, you said he's not going anywhere. He's saying that he's not going anywhere. What's the likelihood that this could put more pressure on Chairman Schiff to step down? And this is the start.
It would have to sustain itself for the next several days or weeks, DeMarco, or there'd have to be some other egregious example of something he's done as leader of the committee, either in improperly sharing intelligence information, for which there's never been such an accusation, or something else. A lot of this is just the fact that Schiff is a high-profile Democrat who appears frequently, some would say all too frequently, on television defending the Democratic position on the ongoing investigation, a big critic of the president. And the president watches a lot of television, so he sees Schiff quite often, and it probably drives the president bonkers to see Schiff out there saying what he has said for the last 2 years. And now that he's, in his view, been exonerated, the president feels that he can go after critics like Schiff and say, no, you were wrong, now get out of the way.
All right, and this is all in response, of course, to the release of the Mueller report. I just want to ask you right now, what's your response to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi when she basically called the Attorney General, William Barr, arrogant and condescending for his interpretation of the Mueller report? Do you think there's a possibility that they will indeed subpoena the Department of Justice to get that report in its entirety, or?
We will see, and we asked her about that. The reason we ask is because the chairman of 6 large committees over in the House who are investigating either Russia or elements of the Trump administration, the president, or his business practices, have called on the Attorney General to release the full Mueller report and all the underlying documents related to it by next Tuesday. That is a timeline inconsistent with the Justice Department saying that it could be several weeks before the findings can be summarized and released publicly. And we've learned just this morning, CBS News has confirmed that the Mueller report runs more than 700 pages. Oh, wow. So the Attorney General and his team are running through a pretty substantial document. They say they're trying to weed out any potentially sensitive material regarding national security and anything related to ongoing grand juries that are seated. There is still one here in D.C. related to the special counsel that is still meeting, so they have to take that out of the document as well. But Democrats are also saying, look, give us the raw materials and allow the American public to see this, because you're a Trump appointee working with another Trump appointee, the Deputy Attorney General. Both of you have been critical of this practice and have concerns about releasing all the information. They have principled legal reasons to be concerned about releasing everything, because there's the potential to, in essence, accuse or charge people in the public sphere, if not in a court of law. But Democrats say, you know, you've got to let us see us. A lot of Republicans up here, as the Speaker said, support releasing the full document. 420 members of the House 2 weeks ago voted on legislation calling for the public release of the report, in part because they believe it was done at great taxpayer expense and has dominated discourse here in Washington for the last 2 years, that Americans deserve to see it for themselves. And we here at CBS have a poll last night that showed nearly 8 in 10 Americans agree with that sentiment. They want to see the full report. So we'll see where this goes, but she signaled there that those committee chairmen may indeed end up subpoenaing the Justice Department and the Attorney General for the full report. And then it's a situation, essentially, DeMarco, of staring each other down or potentially going to court to get the full document. We'll see.
And Ed, just to be clear, because I knew we just reported that it was, what, 300 pages, a little over 300 pages?
300 pages, forgive me, yes.
Okay, so it is 300 pages plus.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Apologies for that, DeMarco.
No, all good.
A little more than 300-page report.
And we can't let you go. The House Speaker sort of put you on the spot 3 times. We actually counted it. It is your birthday, and we just want to let you know that we wish you a very special day, and we hope you find some time to enjoy it in the midst of all this work here. So happy birthday, brother.
Thank you, sir.
All right,
Appreciate that.
No worries. Thank you, Ed O'Keefe there.